Alright, so I finally got my copy of Past Tense, the new Jack Reacher book. I think it's book 23 of the Jack Reacher series. And if you've watched the last review I did on, what was it called? I can't remember, the last book. I think I've done the last two books on this channel. And you knew that I always loved Jack Reacher books, but the last few just haven't really done it for me. Not in the way that the books have been doing for, the rest of the series has been so incredible. I love every single book. But the last two or three of them, I don't know, it kind of felt like Jack Reacher light. There wasn't quite as much action, there wasn't quite as much ass kicking, and that's the Jack Reacher I like. And that Jack Reacher, that version, my favorite version, is back in force in this book. I absolutely loved Past Tense, and I'm so glad that, because I kind of felt like it was going a certain direction, maybe that Reacher was getting older, and so that he wasn't going to have as much violent interactions and stuff like that. It'd be more like a detective novel, which it is. It's definitely a detective story, but the previous books, before book 20, were much more action-packed. And finally, in this book, we get back to that. Really super suspenseful book. I'll give you a rundown here of what the story's about, but I don't want to give anything away if you haven't read it yet. It's in this story, Jack Reacher is in Maine, and his idea is that he's going to hitchhike cross country to get to San Diego. He wants to head west. And he happens to see a road sign that says the name of this town, and he remembers that his dad said that he grew up in that town. When he was growing up, his dad told stories of him growing up in that town. And so he's like, why not? I'm here. Let's go check out Dad's hometown. And his dad in the story has been dead for 30 years. His dad was a Marine and was a pretty quiet guy for the most part. But, very strict, very Marine, right? He was very much a Marine, a very good Marine. And Jack sees the name of his hometown. He's like, you know what? I've never seen this place, because they never went there as a kid. His family never returned there. Him and his brother were army brats. They traveled the world and lived on Marine bases their entire life. Never went to visit their grandparents or go back to their dad's hometown. So he decides he wants to go see this place. Why not? And just like every other Jack Reacher book, usually he goes somewhere on a whim, and it ends up being some crazy chaos. He ends up tied up in some sort of crazy criminal enterprise where he has to fight bad guys and stuff like that. And that's exactly what happens. That's what happens in this book. But there's some really good storyline here. A very good storyline involving his father. And he ends up, I'll let you know this, he ends up with suspicions that his father may actually still be alive and well at 90-something years old and living in this small town that he went to visit. So he uncovers a bunch of crazy history of this town and things that made it the way it was and stuff like that. And then there's another story. There's another story that is happening a couple, like 20 miles north of this town, where these people are running this hotel. It's a motel, but it's not really a motel. They're capturing people and doing something with them. But I don't want to give away what they're doing, because that's a good part of the story, is them slowly unfolding what they're doing with these people that they capture. And I thought it was a fantastic storyline. The end, the third act of this book, the climax of the book was fantastic. I've been underwhelmed by the last couple Jack Reacher books when it came to the climax, but this one, it was super suspenseful, as suspenseful as any Jack Reacher book that I've read. It had me, obviously I know Jack Reacher's not going to die or something like that, but it really had me like on the edge of my seat. I listened to the audiobook version of this, which is another thing I wanted to bring up, is previously the audiobooks have been read by my friend Dick Hill, He has since retired from doing the audiobook reading, and now another guy has taken over. So to me, Dick Hill is Jack Reacher, and it was a little tough to listen to someone else portray Jack Reacher. It's just not quite the same. However, the guy did do a very good job. I would not say he did as good a job as Dick Hill, but I may be a little biased. I love Dick Hill. Anyway, he did fine, and like I said, the story was fantastic. It got very suspenseful in the end. I was on the edge of my seat the whole time, and I couldn't have been happier with the ending of the book. It was a pretty good little twist a couple times in the story, and I don't know, I just thought it was very well done. Way better than, I can't remember the name of the previous book, way better than the one before that, which was Night School. Yeah, better than the last probably 3 or 4 books. Absolutely. So I highly recommend, if you have been feeling the same as me, that the Jack Reacher books have been changing a bit the last few, you'll be very satisfied with this book, because it's kind of the Jack Reacher that we know and love. Anyway, that's all I got to say about it. Go read the book, because it's fantastic. If you've already read it, leave me some comments in the comments section below. Let's talk about it. I'd love to discuss it. You can go ahead and do spoilers in the comments. Spoiler alert, people, there will be spoilers in the comments. If you haven't already read the book, don't read the comments. If you have read the book and you want to discuss it, please leave a comment below. If you enjoy videos like this, where I talk about books, TV series, movies, comic books, nerd shit, pop culture, basically just anything that I enjoy. If you enjoy that sort of thing, subscribe to the channel, because that's what I do here. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video.